Hello and welcome back to another episode of Let's Run Facebook Ads, a podcast. Today I want to be talking about the objective, but not so much the objective of the funnel, but it is the objective because it starts off with the objective to lead into the funnel. And I'm going to give you two examples that I want you to think about with your funnel. Now, this podcast is not going to help every single person listening, but it's going to help some of you, and it's not going to be really, really long. So I just want you to give it a listen, and it will just get things in your brain thinking about what you might need to do or have a look at. So first example is a client call that I had this morning. Actually came onto the Ads Clinic review call. He's been listening to the podcast, and he sells a course of meal replacement supplements. Programmatic, I think it's called Programmatic. Apologies for forgetting, but it was one of those names that it sort of slipped my mind. But he's gone to some amazing agencies. King Kong is a massive agency in Australia where he's based. The guy who CEO of that company is actually on Australia's new version of Shark Tank. So a successful guy, but he had an awful experience. And I think his awful experience came from the fact that the account manager didn't really know. He didn't really speak to the team very much. And they just came back 3 months later after probably spending thousands and said, can't get it work. So I was like, so he's come to us with, you help fix people's ads. Can you try and help fix this? He's actually a company that's actually selling in shops. They've got like 100 shops across Australia. And it's a meal plan. So it's not like Huel we have in the UK where you buy your protein shake, and I was using it, you replace your breakfast and you have this protein shake instead. It's more like Weight Watchers, and you go on a call one-to-one with someone once a month and actually have a call with them and sit down and see where you're going. But what he's doing, he's got his adverts driving traffic to his Shopify site, to the product page, where it's got some details about what it is, and you pay 199 quid for your starter kit. But I think where he's missing the boat is he's trying to have it as an e-com funnel, but someone doesn't know what it is. They're not just buying a protein shake mixture that they're going to buy for 30 quid.
Because that you don't have to explain, then do you just...
It's a whole thing. It's a course, and he calls it like the 3-2-1, and it's like you start with, you get into the goal. So I was like, do you know what? I think you're missing a trick here. I think you've built this wrong. I think you're thinking of it wrong. You think of it as an e-com. I think you need to be thinking it as lead gen. That's where I get with the thing. I think he actually needs to use his objectives in Ads Manager to not go from sales strategy objective to go to lead gen. That lead gen ad, you could use the same ads, you could talk about the same sort of things. It's taking them to a landing page, which then has a sales video where he could talk for 4 minutes going, hey, welcome to our sales page. This is what we do. You're going to buy a starter kit. In that starter kit, you're going to have a couple of shakes, a couple of soups, a couple of oatmeals, and then you're going to stick to our calorie counter, and we're going to explain to do it. And then once every month, you're going to go on a one-to-one call with one of our consultants to keep you where you should be on the right track to get to where you need to go. And he was like, yeah, that's it. And I'm saying, well, I don't know if that's it. I'm not like, I can get some pretty good results. I don't know if I'm a miracle worker, but it sounds more like the legit funnel that he would need to get people to go to where they need to go.
Yeah, it's more like a learn more than like a buy now type thing.
Yeah, they need to be nurtured and things like that. And 199 is a lot.
Yeah, it's not like an impulse buy.
Yeah. Like I've been looking for a new protein powder and online, and I've been going through these functional medicine tests and stuff like that. I'm in that world, so I need to find something that hasn't got crap in it. And I found a couple. I still haven't bought them yet because I'm still doing my due diligence on what they are and the price points and stuff. So these aren't quick decisions, and his definitely isn't a quick decision. So that's one example where we've gone from sales, e-com, people are just going to go to my product and buy it. They're not doing it. To, okay, maybe this is now lead gen to get people in to come into it, and then it's gonna change in different ways. I even said maybe he sets up a school, so you create the community of people. Because I said, how many people are on it? He said, oh, we've got hundreds of people on it. So I said, well, what about if you got them all into communities? They all have their one-on-one calls, but they're not in a community. If you get them onto a community, they carry the one-to-one calls, but then they're also having conversation. They're sharing their wins. Yeah. That becomes your funnel. He was like, get it.
They can do like the selling for you then, don't they? They can advocate.
Get it. And this isn't a startup company. They're going 6 years. They're doing some decent revenue. They just can't crack online.
Yeah.
And I think they're just going in for the wrong thing. That's example one. Example two is Sari, who is a new member of our school. She's not paying for any consultancy or anything like that. She's come on to my drop-in clinic on a Thursday. Shout out, drop-in clinic Thursday, 4 p.m. 4:30 UK time. Come on. Depending on how many people turn up on that hour, we can have a look at your ads and we can give some advice. I can give some advice on what's going on. So she makes and sells candles, wholesales them, but she's trying to sell them online. And she's been sending people to her candles, and she's just not getting people buying them. And I said, well, you need to smell a candle before you can do it. So she was like, well, I have these sort of smell kits. And I said, well, aren't you leading with the smell kits? So then someone could get it. She's like, well, no one's going to buy one. I'm like, well, okay. So why don't you forget about trying to sell a candle. Why don't you look at doing the smell kit, which I actually thought was like little bottles. It's not, it's cards. So you get an envelope with the branding on it, and in that envelope it'd have all the different smells, scents, labelled on the cards, and you can smell which ones you like. So I said, why don't you do like free scent pouch cards, just cover the delivery. And her delivery was like $3.50, and I was like, I don't know, it's a little bit expensive. So I think she's brought it down to like the £1.50 mark. And so your ad's going to change now. You're going to do 3 creatives, so that we never rely on one creative. We always do like 3 creatives at least, just to test something else. And bear in mind, for anyone who's listening going, oh, I spend 1,000 a day and we lose loads of credit. Yeah, I'm talking about small businesses here who are trying to crack on, who don't have loads of money to spend because they're trying to test this out. Get 3 different creatives. You might have 2 statics and a video, or 2 videos, whatever, just a little mix up, and build that as a flexible ad, dynamic creative or flexible, pretty much the same thing, but your ad account might say flexible. Flexible ad. And I've said to her, get people to go to your landing page, which is still on a Shopify site, and then they get the free pouch and they just pay £1.50 delivery. She's ecstatic. She literally 3 days later said, we're starting to get people coming in. Now, it's too early at this stage to know of the people getting the scent. So for the scent pack, they also get a voucher in there saying, get £10 off your first candle with a minimum spend of £40, I think. I think the candles are £35. So get that, and then there's an email sequence, which obviously she needs to work on and get better and better. But then she'll know that, okay, I can get someone to buy the £1.50 product for, let's say it costs her £2.50 to get someone to buy it. She's going to get a little bit of that cost taken off because she's charging for the delivery. Because the psychology of it is that people think they're getting something for free, and they're like, oh, only £1.
You've only got to pay delivery, it's good.
Exactly. Now, this more slightly different experiment, because they're not getting a product and paying for delivery. They're getting some scents, which essentially, once they've smelt them, they're going in the bin. But at least they're now going to get a candle that works for them. So she's gone, even though she's still in Shopify, she's gone slightly away from the e-com of just getting them to go and buy it. She's getting them in, acquiring a potential customer, getting their name and email address. They're now in the email sequences, and then it's seeing what conversions and where they start converting to get the candles.
There's a company called Fern with 2 F's, F-F-E-R-N, which I'd never heard of. But my girlfriend's into like candles and scents and stuff, and they're like this sort of exclusive thing where they send things out once every quarter of the year, and it will be like a spring scent, but they've got like a wait list of like people. So she feels like she can't leave because then she'll have to join the wait list again. But they have a thing where they send...
Where's the wait list? What's the waitlist bit for?
It just means like only a certain amount of people can be subscribed to them at any one time, I think, like a fear of missing out type thing.
Really?
Yeah, but they send you like the perfume thing, and then it's like you get a little sample, but you smell it, and their whole thing is like, if you don't like this scent, you can send it back and get your money back, basically. But they're banking on the fact that obviously when you get it and you get all the nice packaging, you then go, I'll keep that. But it's not cheap. It's like 80 quid a pop.
Oh, that's interesting. So they're probably looking at the whole sales funnel and going, I'm going to have a look at that. They're not just going for candle sales. Yeah. They're bringing them a different way, bit of scarcity. I was actually watching something about school last night. So obviously, guys who might be listening, probably in my school. If you're not, go to school.com/the ads clinic, or go on to school and look for us, search for the ads clinic, join for free. It's all being changed at the moment, a little bit of a thing. By the end of this month, it's going to be updated. There's going to be a paid area, but there's also going to be a load of free stuff on how to build your ads and all the techniques to do it, which is all free. So come and join that. But I hope that helps. It just gives you an idea of don't think. Sometimes you need to think outside the box and just think, is that the right acquisition strategy for me?
Don't always just go straight for the sale.
Exactly. So I hope that helps. I'll see you in the next one.